Coworker loves taking credit for other people's work. Then he got exposed in front of our entire team. So I work as a software engineer, and honestly, I'm pretty introverted. I don't really speak up in meetings unless someone asks me something directly. There's this guy on my team named Steve, who's actually decent at coding, but has this really annoying habit of making himself sound way more important than he actually is. Like whenever we'd have team meetings, Steve would jump in and start talking about fixes or features like he was the mastermind behind everything. He'd use phrases like, "We decided to do this," or "Our approach was," when he literally had nothing to do with it. The dude would basically hijack credit for other people's work right in front of management. I usually just kept my mouth shut because confronting people isn't really my thing. Plus, Steve wasn't completely useless, so I figured whatever, let him have his moment. But then we had this massive project, and I spent like 3 whole days fixing this super complicated bug. I'm talking about the kind of problem that goes deep into multiple parts of the code base, and if you didn't actually work on it yourself, good luck understanding how everything connects. I had to test it over and over, rewrite chunks of code, and basically live and breathe this fix until I finally got it working. The next morning, we had our usual team meeting, and I was ready to give a quick update on what I'd solved. But before I could even open my mouth, Steve jumps in and starts explaining my fix like he wrote every single line of code himself. He's going on and on about how we approached the problem, and our solution involved restructuring the database calls. And I'm just sitting there like, are you kidding me right now? He even drew some diagrams on the whiteboard explaining the logic that I came up with. I was pretty pissed, but I didn't say anything. I figured, okay, whatever. Steve, enjoy your 5 minutes of fame. But then the universe decided to serve up some instant karma. The very next day, another bug popped up in the exact same section of code I'd been working on. Our manager looked directly at Steve and said, "Hey, since you handled that big fix yesterday, can you take care of this new issue too?" And that's when everything got really interesting. Steve completely froze. His face went blank, and he started stuttering something about needing to review the code first. The thing is, if you didn't actually write the fix, the whole structure was pretty confusing to follow. There were specific reasons I'd done things certain ways that only made sense if you understood the bigger picture. So Steve spent the entire morning staring at his screen, clearly having no clue what he was looking at. Around lunchtime, he actually sent me a private message asking if I could quickly explain the logic behind yesterday's approach, because he wanted to make sure he understood it correctly. I told him I was swamped with other stuff and would catch up with him later. Spoiler alert, I never did. For the next 5 hours, Steve was basically panicking. You could see him frantically Googling stuff and clicking through the code, trying to figure out what was going on. He even asked a couple